Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how we can build a WhatsApp personal assistant that's able to carry out a vast majority of the manual tasks that's required in order to build an AI agency. So as you can see over here in this WhatsApp agent, I'm going to send over a couple of messages and it's able to do a range of things like book meetings, get scheduled, send emails, post content to LinkedIn, all for me by just a couple of messages back and forth. So as you can see over here, we have the WhatsApp agent, and on this WhatsApp agent, we can do a range of things like book meetings, we can get calendar information, we can get email information, like what's the latest emails, we can send emails, and we can also do a range of stuff like posting content to LinkedIn just by giving the AI a couple of ideas through message. As you can see over here, we have the AI agent, and I'm going to say something like, what's the schedule like for today? And it should respond back to me with my schedule on my calendar today. And when it finds out that information, it should send it back to me via WhatsApp right here. And as you can see here, it says, here's your schedule for today. The morning is busy from 9 to 11. Then we have our midday information session. And then we have afternoon, which is busy again. And we have a free slot from 12 to 12:30. So what I'm going to say then is I'm going to book in a meeting for that time. So I'm going to say, okay, book in a meeting in that free time with, and send him an email letting him know we will speak about the upcoming event in this meeting. So now I've told the AI agent or my personal assistant to, in that free time, book in a meeting with this person's email, send them an email letting them know that in this meeting we're going to talk about the upcoming event. Now what that is going to do is it's going to send that person an email. If we come over here, we can go into the email. As you can see here, an email saying, hi, just confirming a brief meeting today, Thursday at 12 p.m. We'll discuss details of the upcoming event, and a Google Meet link will be sent in your calendar invite. Looking forward to catching up shortly. Regards, Folu. And if we go back out here, you can see it booked in a meeting, invitation discussing the upcoming event. And then it puts in all the perfect times. And if we go over here to my calendar, then you can see here at 12 to 1, or you can see here in the open time, it gives me the meeting booking. So it's able to book in meetings, it's able to send emails, it's able to do a range of stuff. Now let's say posting content on LinkedIn is getting a little bit overwhelming and I'm not able to keep up with that, and I want this personal assistant to take that over for me. So what I'm going to say to this assistant is, I want to post some LinkedIn content today about AI in real estate and how it is saving agents hundreds of hours a month. Now, as we send that off, this AI is going to go and draft a LinkedIn post for me, and it's going to return it to me for approval. And if we approve it, then it's going to post that LinkedIn content to my actual LinkedIn page. So in a couple of seconds, via back and forth message, we've created LinkedIn content and we've posted it live, which makes it a lot easier to scale up your LinkedIn content, your LinkedIn outreach, which will inevitably bring in more clients for you. So as you can see here, it returns back a LinkedIn post draft, and the content is, AI is revolutionizing real estate, how agents are reclaiming hundreds of hours monthly. The real estate industry is experiencing a quiet revolution, and it's happening one automated task at a time. And then it goes on for a full post, and as you can see here, it sends us a backup post as well. I'm just going to say, okay, this one looks good. Let's approve this one. Okay, post this one. And now that I have said post that, it's going to go ahead and come over to my LinkedIn. If we come over to my posting page, it should post that content to LinkedIn. So as you can see here, we don't have any content yet, but if we refresh this in a couple of minutes, it should actually post this content to my LinkedIn, and as you can see there, it posted the content. So it says how AI is giving real estate agents their time back, and it gives us a full post on AI in the real estate space. So in this video, we're going to go through everything, how you can build this with absolutely no code on make.com in a couple of minutes, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to build this for yourself. I'll also leave templates below, so you don't actually have to build it. You can just download them without having to really do any work. But let's get straight into the video. So the first thing we need to do over here is we need to come over to the app called make.com. If you don't have a make.com account, go over to make.com, sign up, very straightforward, and then come over here to the new section, which is the AI agents. In the AI agent section, this is how we're going to essentially build this personal assistant that's able to do a range of stuff for us. So when we come over to the make.com AI agent section, we're going to create a new agent. And in this agent, we have to select one of the models that we want to use. Now, obviously, whichever model you want to use is completely customizable, or it's kind of down to personal preference. For me, I like to use OpenAI just because it seems to be the best one when it comes to acting as a agent or acting as a reasoning AI agent. So that's why we've selected this. Then you will give your agent a name. So we'll just call this test PA, personal assistant. And then you'll select a model. I'm going to select GPT-4.1. As we know this AI agent is doing its job, then we can kind of take a step back and we can choose a cheaper model like GPT-4.1 mini. If that one is performing well, then we can take another step back and choose nano, and then we can kind of determine which one is able to do the job at the cheapest price. But as we're starting out and we're just testing this, I'm going to use GPT-4.1. Now over here in this agent, for the system prompt, I already have a prompt built, so I'm going to paste that in here. Don't worry, I'm going to go over it, and then we're going to click save. And that's basically the base of our AI agent build. So as you can see, here is the prompt that I put in, and it says we give it basically a role and objective, saying you are a sophisticated personal assistant for WhatsApp users, designed to act as a trusted executive assistant. Your core objective is to streamline the user's life by efficiently managing their digital communications, calendar, tasks, while maintaining the highest standard of professionalism and accuracy. Then we say, as a core identity and communication standards, personal assistant communicate with competence and reliability of a seasoned executive assistant. We go into some more communication standards. Then we say the primary capabilities and constraints is email operations, retrieve, summarize, and send emails. We have calendar management, which again is to retrieve and create new calendar appointments. We have content generation. As you've seen, we have the LinkedIn content generator, and then we have some research and analysis, basically combining all of these to generate responses back to us. Then we have some action, which you can see here. We always ask for approval first protocol, and whenever sending emails, whenever posting content or creating events, we always ask it to approve it with us first. And then we have some other stuff here. Don't worry, we'll leave this prompt down below so you can download it in the first link. Then we have some communication guidelines, response format, WhatsApp optimized formatting, basically tend to send it as a message and not just a big chunk of text. Then we have some operational workflow, which is request and analysis, information processing, action execution protocol, continuous assistance, pre-execution validation, error recovery procedures, quality standards, and then we have some success metrics down here. And as you can see, we have a really detailed and well-written prompt that we've included in here, as this is kind of the base to the agent. Now, what you might notice from this prompt is we haven't included everything. We haven't included how to go and get the tools or which tools to use, and that's where we'll get into it later in the video, where to include that. I'm not going to get into every single prompt we write. I'll scroll through it like that pretty quickly, so we can see kind of just the base of it. If I get into every prompt, this video will be 2 hours long, which I don't want. So now that we have this built, we can click save, and we need to add some tools to this agent. So what this agent is basically right now is like a brain with no arms or no legs. So it can think, but it can't do anything. It can't send emails. it can't retrieve anything from our calendar because it doesn't have access to anything. It doesn't have any tools attached. So that's why when we come in here, you can see we have system tools down here. That's where we're going to attach basically the arms and the legs to this brain. So it's able to do stuff. It's able to materialize stuff and send messages back to us. Now, the first thing we need to do is come over here, and after we click save on this email agent, or after we click save on this personal assistant, when we come over here to a new scenarios, we should be able to add that personal assistant to be able to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to build a scenario like this. And as you can see here, we have the personal assistant up here and the personal assistant down here. Now, don't get confused by this. This is very straightforward. And to explain this, this basically means we have this first WhatsApp module, which is watching events. So this basically watches when a new message is sent. So whenever we send a message to the agent, it's going to retrieve it and it's going to choose one of these paths. It's going to choose up here if it's a text message. It's going to choose down here if it's a voice message. So if we send a message over via voice, via a voice note, then it's going to come down here. It's going to take that voice note and turn it into text, and then basically do the same thing as up here. Just send it over to the AI agent. The AI agent is going to connect to all of its tools, create a response, and then send it back. Again, up here, the AI agent is going to connect to its tools, create a response, and then send it back. Now up here is where we're going to select the AI agent that we've just created. As you can see here, we have all of the assistants. We have the assistant that we just created. I'm going to select that one, and we now need to add tools to this assistant. Now these tools that we're going to add are again going to be the arms and legs. So in order to create these tools, we need to basically create a new scenario and do a couple of things to it to make it accessible. So the first thing you need to do in order to build this is just create that AI agent, come in here and select that AI agent to be able to be used for this. Once you have that selected, we'll get into the tools later. We'll start creating them and we'll start building them. But down here, you have to select a thread ID. Now, the thread ID is how the AI agent is going to be able to know what the previous messages were, or to know what the previous conversations were. And in WhatsApp, we don't really have a thread ID. Like as you can see through here, this model where we have watch events, it doesn't actually return any thread ID. So what we're going to use is this WhatsApp ID, or even the message sender. So as you can see in here, we have message sender. It's the same thing. It's just their phone number, and that seems to be good enough as a thread ID. So that's going to basically retrieve all the messages from that phone number. Then down here we have additional system instructions. So like we said before, we have the normal system instructions, then we have the additional system instructions. And in here is where we include basically all the tools and how to use them. So as you can see in here, we have AI agent personal assistant, we have user context, so we give it the user's name, we give it the current dates, and then we give it some more information on the role and relationship. Then we give it some core identity and communication standards again, and then we give it some stuff in here like response structure, and this is stuff that you probably shouldn't include in the main system instructions, because the main system instructions are really meant for like an overview of how you want this AI agent to act, and in here is where we'll include stuff like the response structure. Then you can see here we have immediate, key, next, to do, or clear actions for the agent to send back. Then we have some conversational formatting guidelines. We tell it what to do when people respond to calendars, calendar overview, how to respond back whenever we ask for calendar invites. We have tool protocols. We give it some information on how to talk, basically. We have some quick email updates. And we have a full prompt here, basically telling this AI agent exactly what to do with each tool. You can see it here. Again, I'll leave both of the system instructions and this additional system instructions. I leave them below for completely free, so you can just put them into your AI agent. But yeah, it basically gives it all of the information that we need for this to act correctly based on the tools that we're going to give it access to. So we're going to click save on this, and that's basically our AI agent done. Now, because this AI agent doesn't have any tools, and we need to add a couple of tools to it, we now need to create tools. So if we come in here to add tools, after we've given it all of these system instructions, then we can either select a scenario or we'll have to create a new one. So in here we already have our scenarios created, but I'm going to create a new one so you can see exactly how to do it. But over here, this is kind of the finished product to give you a kind of general idea. And as you can see here, we have multiple tools like the send email tool. We have the create an event in the Google Calendar tool, and we have the post in LinkedIn content. We have the content generation tool. We have the get free and busy times from our calendar tool, and then we have the get emails tool. So in order to create these, we're going to come over here to make.com again, and we're just going to create a brand new scenario. We're going to give it a name, and then we're going to build it out. So this one is the get emails tool. In order to make this tool, very straightforward, we're going to come down here to the emails module. We're going to use get emails. We're going to select that, and then in this get emails tool, we're going to configure some stuff. Now, this is where it gets a little bit technical, but once you understand it in this one, you'll be able to understand it in all of the scenarios. So as you can see in here, we've just connected up our email. We're going to get all of the emails, and we're going to select criteria, all emails. And now in here is where we're going to select which emails to get. So this AI agent knows which emails to get. Now you have a couple of options. So you can get emails from either the sender's email address, or you can get emails from the recipient's email address, and then you have some other filters like which dates to get the emails from. Now, both of these can be intact, so we can ask the AI agent to send over both of these, or we can just get one or the other. So if we came down here to our AI agent and we said something like, what was the last email from, let's say, from Folu this week, and we sent that over, then the AI agent is going to send over information to here, and it's going to say get the email addresses where the sender is Folu Alori, like we just mentioned in the message, and then it's going to get the dates from this week. So it's going to get from the start of this week till today, and that's how it's going to retrieve the emails. Now, if we come down here, in order to get these little variables in here, we have to come down here to scenario inputs and outputs, and this is what the AI agent is going to send over to this scenario, so this scenario knows which emails we're trying to retrieve. So if we come down here to scenario inputs, you can see we have then 4 variables that we're looking for. And the first one is in here. In order to create them, just come down here and press add item. And in here, we're going to select the sender email address. Again, you're just going to come in here. You're going to give it a name called sender email address. It's important that you give it a description. And in this description, we're going to say this is the email address of the sender we are looking to retrieve emails for. And we're going to select the type as text. And then the recipient email address, same thing, recipient underscore email underscore address. Now bear in mind, as you're naming these, if I give this the name and I leave in a space, it's not going to allow me to do it. I don't know why, it just happens. You can't have any spaces. You can see down here only letter numbers and underscores. And then again in here we have description, which is the email address of the recipient we are looking to retrieve previous emails for. Type is text again, and then for the from date and the before date, we have in here the from date is the date of which to retrieve the emails after must be in ISO 8601 format. And then down here we have the date of which to retrieve the emails before, which must be in ISO 8601 format again. And now this agent has access to all 4 of these variables. Now, when you're creating variables, you have the option to select required. And that's for something that if we wanted to run this scenario, something that we would need, and we would basically tell the AI agent, you need this information to run this scenario. That's when we would select required. But for this scenario, we don't need required variables for anything. Just in case somebody said, just get me all of the emails from last week, then it wouldn't be required that we have a sender email address or a recipient email address. So if we come over here, we can see the messages here. Quick email update from foliolawyer@gmail.com this week. Most recent on 30th of July. The last email from Folio was a declined calendar invitation. So you can see all of the information it was able to retrieve from this email from this week. So that's what this tool is basically able to do. It's able to retrieve emails. Now, to finish off this scenario, we need to add a text aggregator. And in this text aggregator, we're going to select the source module as the email. We're going to select the row operator as a new row. And then in here, we're going to basically put in all of the information that we retrieve from this email. So let's say this email, we were going to come over here and we're going to look for emails from, again, this person. So we only have the sender email address. If we come up here, you will see that when we run this scenario and we get all of the emails from this person, it's going to return a bundle, which is basically a bunch of emails. So as you can see here, we have bundle 1, bundle 2, bundle 3, bundle 4, and we'll have a bunch of bundles of all of the emails from this person. Now we have this limit set to 10, so it's only going to return 10 emails. But in order to be able to get all of this information into one text block, then we're going to need to use a text aggregator, and we're going to select all the information. So as you can see in here, we have the date equals, and then we'll get the date from here. So we'll get the date from there, and then we have the subject equals the subject. We have the text content equals basically the email, what's inside the email, and then we have the message ID, which we output as well. So if we click save and we run this, and again we use the same email. We press OK. When we run this, then it's going to send all of them information. Then it's going to send all of them emails that are returned. So the 10 emails that returned, it's going to send it through to this. It's going to send it through to this text aggregator module. And in this text aggregator module, this is going to output it as just one block of text. So as you can see here, in the input to this text aggregator, we have 10 different collections. And then as the output, it outputs them all as one piece of information. So in that way, when we go to send this back to the AI agent, we can send it back as just one big block of text. Now, the next module, in order to send it back to the agent, as you can see here, is the scenarios return output. And in order to get that, you're going to come in here, search up scenarios, you're going to select that, and you're going to press return output. Now, when you are returning an output, you also need to come in here and you need to select scenario outputs. And in here is basically what we are going to return to the personal assistant. So if we come over here, as you can see here, we've created a scenario output and we've said emails returned. This is a list of previous emails returned for the specific search parameters that the AI agent basically sent over. And as you can see down here that we have selected this as required. So we only want to send this over if there actually is a return of information. So then in here, we have again the scenario output name, which we just created. And then as the output, we select all of the emails that we have found. So we press save on that and we click save. That's basically the first scenario done. So when you have created that scenario, you're going to come back over here to your AI agent. You're going to come up here and you're going to remember the name of this. So this is the name. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back over here. And when we add a tool to this AI agent, we're going to come up here. I'm going to search for that agent. We're going to select add, and we're going to add that to this agent. So now this agent, when it receives a message, it's going to come up here and this agent is going to have access to that tool. Now, there is one piece of information that I forgot to mention. When we are creating this tool, you must create a description for this tool. So if we come back out here into kind of the dashboard and we come up here to the option section, we need to create a description for this tool. And the description for this tool is extremely important because this is the only information the AI agent has in order to know when to actually use this tool. Now, of course, we've included it in the system instructions, but this is the most important part in order to know when to use this tool. So as you can see in here, we have the description set as this scenario returns a list of emails based on parameters of sender's emails and recipient's email. They can be used singularly or both at the same time. A date from and to can be used if needed to filter between dates. And then we'll click save. And now this AI agent knows exactly the description of this scenario and just gives it a better understanding on exactly when to use this scenario. So now that we have that basically set and we know when to use this scenario, then we just need to create the rest of these scenarios. So as you can see over here, we have another scenario which is a send email. So in the instance where we want to send an email, then you would come in here. You'd create a new scenario. We're going to call this one send email, and then down here we are going to look up the send email module, and then we're going to select the send email module. In this email module, we are going to again connect our account. We're going to configure some variables that we set up in here. As you can see in here, we have some scenario inputs. We have the email body, the message ID if we need one, and then the subject. So in here, as the scenario inputs, we have email. This is the email address of the sender to send the email to, and then we select this as text. We can also select this as email if needed, but I've just selected text. And then this is required. Obviously, this is required because we can't send an email without an email address. So we've selected that as required. We also have the email body. This is basically the information that we're going to send. So it's going to be hi name, please confirm this meeting, regards, your name. And then as you can see in here in the description, the email body to send to the user in HTML format. That's key as well. It's key information because that's how Make sends over emails. In order to format it correctly, you need to send it in HTML format. And then we have selected this as text. And again, this is required. Now down here we have message ID. Now what this is going to be used for, as you can see, we have down here, this is the email message ID. And this is going to be used in any scenario where we want to thread email. So let's say somebody sent us an email saying, hi, can I book a meeting today? If we want to respond directly underneath that email, we need the message ID of that email in order to respond. And as you can see over here in the get emails, when we are selecting all of the information to send back from the emails, we have the message ID. So let's say we said to this AI agent, get all the emails from last week and where somebody is asking to book a meeting. It's going to retrieve all of the emails from last week where people are looking to get meetings. And then again, you can see in here, it's going to include the message ID. So let's say I said back to that agent then, okay, send a message back to John saying I've confirmed this meeting. It's going to need to use the message ID of that email to create a thread under John's message in order to send a message back to him. So that's how the send email is going to create a message underneath John's email. It's going to use the email ID from the get emails. Again, this one is not required because we're not always responding to somebody. So we have that selected as not required. And then the last one over here, you can see we have the subject. And this is going to be the email subject to include. So whatever we want to put in the subject bar. And then we have this as required. So that's all the information that we need to include in here. So you can see in here we have all of the variables that we just created in the inputs. In reply to is where the message ID goes. You can see we have the email body in the content type is HTML. And then for the scenario output, we basically just say email confirm sent to the email person's name, containing, and then the body that we've created for that email. Now again, make sure you create scenario outputs, and then we just give this a name called email sent, and then we say this is a confirmation the email was sent, and we make sure to return that output back to the AI agent. Now that's basically two kind of the most used scenarios that you will use for this personal assistant. If you're anything like me that runs an agency and sends a lot of emails, these are kind of the two main scenarios that I use a lot. Get the emails from a certain person and send an email back to this person. Now I know a lot of you are going to want to use this for content creation because as a busy agency owner, not everybody has time to create content. So as you can see in here, we have the content creator or the content creation scenarios, and in here we basically have the create a prompt module. So we go down here to Claude, we use create a prompt module, and then in this Claude create a prompt module we say to Claude, you are a specific content writer who will write LinkedIn posts for LinkedIn. Here is the topic, and we give it a topic, and then we say here is some information on what we're looking for and the research conducted, and then we give it basically what we want the post to be about. So as you can see in here, we have the content research, and then we say some basic stuff like don't use emojis, keep the tone informal but not messy or unprofessional, but not overly informal. And then we click save on that. Obviously you can customize this yourself. Again, down here in the scenario inputs, we have the topic and the content research, which you can include in here in the prompt. And then this is basically going to create the content and send it back over here as a post. We have again down here scenario outputs, we have it just called post. And then in the description, we basically say here is the potential post that you can post on LinkedIn, and we are just waiting a confirmation, and we basically send that over with the information that Claude has created. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention about all of these scenarios is down here in the scheduling section, you need to create all of these on the schedule as on demand, so the AI agent can use it whenever it needs to use them, and also obviously make sure it's active. So now that has created, so whenever we need to create a LinkedIn post, it's gonna come in here to Claude. It's gonna send over the title and the content research. When Claude gets that information, it's gonna create the content and send it back over here as the post. It's gonna send it back over to the AI agent. And if the AI agent is happy, or if we're happy with that, and we confirm the post, as you can see down here in this message, we say this post is okay, so we confirm it and say okay, post this one. Then we need to create this basically AI agent, which is able to post it to our LinkedIn. So if we come over here, we have the confirm LinkedIn post, and this is basically posting it to our LinkedIn. So what you do down here is you're going to come down here, you're going to search up LinkedIn, you're going to select LinkedIn, obviously sign in, and then we're going to select create a user text post. And in this user text post, it's very simple. The content is going to be the LinkedIn post, which we want to select. We select all of these settings. And then in here in the scenario inputs, we just select LinkedIn post. This is the text. This is the text for the confirmed LinkedIn post to post. So whenever we confirm it, the AI agent is going to send over the text over here. And then it's going to post it to LinkedIn, and then we have a scenario output, which is basically sending it back to the AI agent saying this post is confirmed. So whenever this runs, it's going to come over here, it's going to send over the confirmation output, and in the text we're going to just say post confirmed. So we save that now, make sure it is selected as on demand and active. This AI agent is going to be able to use all of that information. Now again, just to remember, come over here and make sure you add all of these tools to your AI agent as you create them. So I'm going to search up here, AI agent, and we're going to add the content creation tool, which is, as you can see in here, make sure you are creating the descriptions for these tools. Again, over here, come back out, you're going to come over here to the options section and press edit description, and then that's when you'll put in all of the information. So for this one, when we're sending an email, we use the description, use this scenario to send an email. For the content creation one, we use, if we come in here, we say over here in the content creation tool, we say this is the scenario to use to create LinkedIn content. And then over here in the confirm LinkedIn content, then we come over here and we select and we say this is the scenario to use whenever a LinkedIn post has been improved to send. So that's something you have to make sure you add in the descriptions. And now when you add in all of your descriptions, you can come over here and you can select all of the tools that you need to use. So if we come over here and we select add tools, and we search in here our AI agent tools, you can see we have content creation, send email, and we can add all of these tools to the AI agent. Now you can see in here, as we are adding the tools, it has the description here. So if you ever forget to add a description, don't worry, you have the chance to add it in here, basically telling the AI agent again how to use this tool or when to use this tool. So you'll add all of your agents or all of your sub scenarios to this. So it will eventually look like this, where it has access to all of the tools. Now, we have created a vast majority of the tools that we need. So we've created the send email tool, we've created the confirm LinkedIn content, and we've created the actual content creation tool, and we've created this one, which is the get emails. The last one we need to create is the get free and busy time and the create event. So this one is going to get all of the free and busy times in our Google Calendar, and this one is actually going to create an event whenever we ask the AI agent to. So in order to create the first one, which is to get free and busy times, again, come over, create another scenario, and in this scenario we're going to use Google Calendar. So if we look up Google Calendar, we're going to come down here, I'm going to search up this free, and we're going to select this one, which is the get free and busy time information. When we select that, so as you can see in here, the get free and busy time, we have a minimum time and a maximum time. These are basically the times that we want to get the information for. So we want to get the free and information from yesterday, then it's going to select the minimum time as the first hour of yesterday and the maximum time as 12 p.m. of yesterday. If we say get my free and busy time for next week, then it's going to select the minimum time as Monday and the maximum time as Sunday. So you kind of have a general idea of how this works. And then the calendar ID, you just select the calendar that you want to create. Most people will just have one calendar, and then we select save. Now it's important in here for the scenario inputs that we have the before and after time. So we can see here we have the variable before this time, and we say date and time to get free and busy information before, and make sure it's in ISO 8601 format. Again, we have the same thing here, which is just date and time to get free and busy information after, which is again in ISO 8601 format. We say ISO because this is the way Google Calendar expects the time and date information. When we select them scenario inputs, then again, make sure you put them in here. And then whenever we get that information, we send it back over to the scenario output, which we call this one scenario output free and busy times. And we send it over as this information, which we get from the Google Calendar here. We'll press save. And now that will send the information back to the AI agent, basically saying here is the free and busy times of the time or of the parameters that you have selected. When we have that tool, again, make sure it's selected as on demand and it's active, and then we'll come back out here, we'll select the description, and we'll say this is the tool to use to retrieve the free and busy times for a specific or a specified date and time. We'll click save. We'll come over here and we'll make sure we add this to the actual AI agent. Come down here. We'll come down here to tools, and we will search up the get free busy time. So get free, and as you can see, we have the get free busy time AI agent here, which we've named. We'll select that. Again, you have the chance to change the description or give it a better description, and then we'll select add, and then it has access to that information. We can click save now. And the last one we need to create is the create event tool. And this one is basically just going to create an event in our calendar. So if we come down here and we look up Google Calendar again, and we look for the create an event, we can select the create an event. Now in this Google Calendar, as you know, you can create multiple Google Calendars. Like you can create one that has a Google Meet connected to it, or you can create one that doesn't have a Google Meet. You can select events that are all day long, or you can select events that are 1 hour long. But in here is where we include all of that information. So again, the first bit of information we include is the event name, which is basically the title of the event. Is this an all-day event? I just have it selected as no, as I don't really create all-day events. As a start time, we have whenever we want the date to start. So again, it's going to be in that ISO format, whenever we want the date and time to be. As an end date, we have this empty because whenever I am creating events in my calendar, I usually just have them as a duration. So I'll select create an event tomorrow at 2 p.m. which is a meeting, and make it 1 hour long. I don't really use dates and times as an end date because I don't really, that's not what I do or what I use for my business. So I've left that empty, and I've instead selected duration. So instead of an end date, I have a duration. So I might send over to this scenario. I'll say to the AI agent, create an event tomorrow with folioalori@gmail.com for 2 p.m. and it's going to be a 45-minute meeting. Then this is going to come over here. It's going to select 2 p.m. as the start time, and then it's going to correct the duration as 45 minutes. Then in here is the description of the event, so whatever we want to include in the description. So if we come down here, you can see we have a description right here, which is we have comprehensive client onboarding phase session, where we'll go over all of the onboarding steps to allow time for questions. So that's what the description would look like. And then down here, for the last variable, we have the attendee email, which again is if you are inviting anybody to this event, or if it's going to be a Google Meet event, then here is where you would include their email. And then all of this, we will keep all of these information as the same. But the last thing we want to include over here is to add a Google Conference Meet link. Now, usually this will be selected as this, where it's not mapped, and you can just either select yes or no. But in our case, when we are creating events, and we are creating events via an AI agent, it's not every time that we want to have a Google Calendar meet. We might just say something like block off tomorrow in my calendar from 2 to 4 o'clock, just because maybe you're going to the gym or you're going to be away from your computer. For them scenarios, we don't need to create, or we don't need to add a Google conferencing link. So in order to be able to make this dynamic, where we decide if we want to include it, we're going to map this. And in here, in the mapping section, we're going to include the output of event meet link. And that's where we're going to come down here to the scenario input. So in the scenario input, we have again the title, which you've seen in the module. We have the start time, which again, like we went over, this is the start time, and this is the start time and date of the event in ISO 86001 format using Irish Dublin time zone. Then we have the end time. Again, this is the end time of the event, which again, remember, this is the duration. And we say this is the end time of the event in hour, minute format. Or we should change this actually to this is the duration to make it more usable. We'll say this is the duration. This is the duration of the event in hour, minute format. Then we have the attendee email, which is this is the email of the attendee of the event, if there is an email. And then we can see down here we have event meet link. And what we say to this one is, we say in here, we say this will decide if we include a conferencing link for the event. And we say it's either true or false. So if we want to include a conferencing link, then we'll select, then the AI agent will send over true. If we don't want to include a conferencing link, then the AI agent will send over false. And we select this as Boolean because it's either true or false. And then the description input module is again just this is the description of the event. So we're going to select save. We're going to make sure it's on demand and active. And again over here, if we come back to the module, then you can see these are all of the scenarios these are all of the variables that we just created in the module inputs. So you can see down here we have the event meet link, and this is either going to output true or false, so we know when to include a meeting link. Again, we come over here, we select scenario outputs, and we say, if we call this one event success. So whenever the meeting is booked, we say event creation is successful. We'll click save, come back out here, come up here to the description, edit the description. We say this tool is used to create events in my calendar. I'll click save on that, and we'll come back over here, and now we should be completely done, where we have selected all of the pieces of information that this AI agent needs. So you can see we have the send email, create event, confirm LinkedIn post, get free busy time, and the content creation or the content writer, and we have the get emails. So if we click save on this, this should be able to run. Now, one thing I need to go over is the WhatsApp Business Cloud. So in order to connect to your WhatsApp to be able to send messages back and forth, there is a certain process that you need to go through. It's quite long. It's maybe 10 to 15 minutes to actually connect to WhatsApp. I've made a video on this, so I'll include it in the top right or top left corner of the screen now. I'll also include it in the description so you can go and watch that to show you how to connect to WhatsApp in order to send and receive messages. But if you didn't want to connect to WhatsApp, it's very straightforward. You could change this for like Telegram, or you can change it for Facebook Messenger, or you could change it for some other stuff that's a little bit easier to connect to. But it would basically be the same thing. Get the messages as they come in, send the message back with the response from the AI agent. Now in this scenario we have it set. So if this message that comes in from WhatsApp, if the message type is audio, then it will choose this route, and this will basically download the message. So we'll select the message ID in here. As you can see in here, we come down here, we find the message ID, then it's going to find the message ID and basically download this as a media. We're going to come over here to where it says, but then we're going to come over here. As you can see, Make has a built-in AI content extractor. So if we come over here, we select this module, which is the Make. We come down here and we select we select transcribe an audio file. If we connect that up, then we can just connect. Then you'll see it automatically connects to WhatsApp. So if we send over an audio file, it's going to transcribe it and download it as text. It's going to transcribe it and output it as text, so we can input that into the AI agent, so the AI agent is able to work with it. And then it's going to send a message back, and we're going to make sure that the message it sends back over here is we are sending this from the test number, which WhatsApp will give you. Again, if you go through the video, you will know how to connect to WhatsApp, and you'll see it gives you a test number. And then we say the receiver is the person that sent the initial message. So if we come over here and we select contacts and we select profile, we can see down here we have their WhatsApp ID and their name. So we can select their WhatsApp ID, and this is basically where this WhatsApp module is going to send the message back to. We'll select the message type as text, and we'll select the response as the response that we get from the AI agent. And then we'll just select yes as the preview URL. This basically just means whenever we include a URL link, it basically makes it clickable. So if we click save, this module up here is just going to be the exact same, except this one we don't have to transcribe the audio. You can see in here again we're using a test number. The receiver is the WhatsApp ID, text, and then the body is going to be the response. So if we come over here and we run this, if we run this now, we can send a message over. We can say, hi, when is my next meeting? If we say, hi, when is my next meeting, you can see this automatically runs. It gets the information from the message, which you can see in here. We have, hi, when is my next meeting? Goes up here to the AI agent. The AI agent does all of the background. Like you can see in here, it receives the message, hi, when is my next meeting? It uses all of the tools that it needs to use. Then it will send the message back. Now, one thing we need to do over here in the AI agent is after we include the thread ID and the additional instructions, we need to scroll down a little bit here, and where it says messages, that's where we'll include the actual message that we send over to the personal assistant. So over here in message 1, we're going to come over here and we're basically going to select the message that we just sent. So you'll come down here and you'll choose text, and then over here you can see we have the body of the message. Like we just said, hi, when is my next meeting? That's where you will include the message, and you're basically done. Then you're basically done with this whole scenario, and you know how to use it. Again, I'll just do another text. I'll just do another test where I send over a message via audio. So I'll say, we'll allow this. I'll send over an audio message. Hi, 123. This is a test audio message. And we'll send this over. If we run this module now, then you will see this will run. It will choose this route. It will download the media and it will send it over to this text extractor. And as you can see in this text extractor, it should be able to retrieve the audio. And you can see here, this is a test audio, which you extracted, and then basically in here in the messages, then we use the message as the output from the text extractor. Now up here in this one, we use the message, we use, as you can see up here in this one, we use the message as just the WhatsApp message, and because this one comes in as an audio and we can't use that in the AI agent, we have to use the text extractor, and that's basically the whole point of getting this outputted as text. So if we click save on this, then that's basically the full scenario run and how you can create an AI agent for yourself, or an AI personal assistant, that's able to make your life a lot more easier. It's able to post content and do all of this information for you. Now I know this can be a little bit complicated and overwhelming, so in the first link in the description I'll include a link, firstly, which is to my course, where you can go in and you can download all of these scenarios so you don't have to build them for yourself. Secondly, I'll also include a free link which will take you to Google Drive, where you can download all of these prompts for yourself, so you don't actually have to write it out yourself. I'll include these prompts, the prompt here, the additional prompt, and the main prompt which you include when you're building your AI agent. I'll include both of them below, and if you need any help, just shoot a message below in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.